Hello there, this is Lucas with MTGHeadquarters.com, and I am here with another standard deck tech and gameplay, this time with Jund Monsters. This is very similar to the list that Chris Van Meter's been running around for those of you that follow the Star City Games open circuit. It's your typical giant dudes deck, so you get to play a lot more of the Scrylands, specifically Temple of Malice, and Overgrown Tombs, well, and Temple of Minute, of course. But you basically are running 3 colors to help splash for a little bit more removal in this format. Dreadbore and Abrupt Decay being the key parts, and it also allows for Golgari Charm in the sideboard. Some lists like running some Thoughtseizes in there, or Putrefy, or Vraska. Some lists are full of Rakdos' Returns. This list is running Sire of Insanity. Does the same sort of effect, but it's a little bit cheaper on the budget. So we do have the full 4 Domeries, 3 Xenagos, 4 Gorkland, 4 Plukranos, and then of course our Haymaker being Stormbreath Dragon, and some Mana Dorks. I really like Scavenging Ooze in this format. It really does a lot of things that we really want against certain decks. The graveyard decks that are running around like crazy are pretty nice to deal with. Also online there's a lot of Constellation decks as well. So having Golgari Charm, Doomblade, Mizzium Orders, Putrefy, all of those pretty relevant against those matchups. Same with Vraska. This is a pretty stock list, so you can find similar ones anywhere you particularly want. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys some gameplay for it. So you guys, if you want to run this list for any upcoming SCG event or Grand Prix like Grand Prix Chicago, you can get a little bit of a feel for the deck. So let's go ahead and just hop right into the games. So here we are, round 1 with Jund Monsters. We won the die roll, so we're going to go ahead and play first. This hand's pretty good. I'm not going to mulligan it. All we have to do now is just find a big threat. The question is, do we cast an Elvish Mystic on turn 1 or not? And I think I will, in the off chance we draw a Domery. If we don't draw a Domery, it's okay. We get to have turn 2 Scavenging Ooze, which is a pretty decent one to get out of there. Ooh, Temple of Epiphany. So we're against something a little bit rogue-ish, since you don't see a lot of the blue-red Scryland running around in Standard much. Seems like he has chosen to scry to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and cast this Temple of Abandon instead of the Scavenging Ooze, before the Scavenging Ooze, because we want as many green sources as possible to make the most out of it. The Courser Crewfix definitely going to keep on top. Helps us filter our draws, get any lands off the top that we don't already scry away. Could this be like a version of Mono Blue, perhaps? Goblin Electromancer. Ooh, so it is some sort of Izzet-y sort of deck. I'm gonna go ahead and start by attacking with the Scavenging Ooze, see if he wants to trade. My guess is no, so we're just gonna let it happen. If he does, we get free value from our Gorkland Rampager. Get to put him further behind the clock. I didn't want to attack with the Elvish Mystic there because that really projects that we have the Gorkland. And I definitely want this Abrupt Decay. We can always end of turn with our Scavenging Ooze, eat his Goblin Electromancer too, which is pretty nice. Make my guy a little bit bigger. If he has the Lightning Strike, he'll hit our Scavenging Ooze anyway. Chooses not to. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Ooze here. Does he have like a removal spell or something? Now here I could eat the Gorkland, and I think I will. Put my guy out of Lightning Strike range. Okay, looks like that just resolves. And now we're going to play a Courser. See if we have a land on top. It just has a counter spell. Sure, you have Counterflux. Means I'm just gonna play a Stomping Ground tapped and pass. We have to be wary of the Mizzium Orders now for my Ooze, since I don't even know what's going on here. Blue-red counter burn of some sort. I'm going to attack with both my guys now. No point in dirtling back anymore. Ooze is going to to eat the Courser, and we to smash in for 6. And I could cast Caryatid. I think I won't actually, just to play around any sort of Wrath effects. And I'm just going to leave up Abrupt Decay. We have Lethal on board, so he has to have an answer. And it has to be an answer that's not CMC 3 or less. Seems like he is flooded and then concedes the game. So it seems like getting the 2-2 off the board was pretty nice. For this sort of deck, I think this is the sort of deck where Sire of Insanity is going to be pretty nice. Same with Mistcutter Hydra, since he's playing a bunch of, like, he's playing Counterflux. That implies that Mistcutter Hydra is going to be pretty good against him. I'm not sure how many creatures he's really going to be running, so I don't know whether or not I want Abrupt Decay or Mizzium Mortars. I think I'm tempted by Abrupt Decay, just to see like what sort of spells he can cast. Like, he seems like a very spell-heavy deck, so that's why having Sire and Mistcutters are going to be nice. We could, I think Planeswalkers are also quite good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the Dreadbores, and I definitely want to keep in our ramp and 2 of the Gore Clan Rampagers. He's going to play around Rampager a lot more now, and so having fewer of them is fine. Definitely want the Mistcutters, and I think the Sires are going to be well positioned as well, which again makes our ramp kind of nice. Apart from that, Pelucranos, just giant threats, probably the way to go. This hand is pretty strong. I'm not going to mulligan this anymore. We get to cast Caryatid on turn 2. He's also mulled to 5, so he's a little bit behind the 8 ball already. He doesn't scry to the bottom. And we're just going to cast a Blood Crypt, tapped, and pass. Yeah. It's a good thing we hit that other land now, so we can start to make sure we just hit our land drops. He doesn't have, like, if he has Stymied Hopes, that would be marginally annoying, I guess. But we're just going to cast a Caryatid. Okay, so that resolves. That's pretty nice. Means next turn we can have a Xenagos or Pelucranos in play. He doesn't have Counterflux mana up now because it costs double blue. So I think I'm just going to resolve this Pelucranos. Oh, Spellheart Chimera. Okay. So that blocks Xenagos tokens pretty well. Ooh, that's a nice draw. I think I'm just going to cast a Pelucranos here. Get our first monster in play and force him to have an answer. Mizzium Mortars doesn't do much. Like, there's no real burn spell that deals with it, so maybe if he has, like, Rapid Hybridization, that'd be a good thing for him. But now we have a Pelucranos in play. Sure, he just lets us untap. So I'm going to start by attacking with Pelucranos. I don't think I'm going to Xenagos here. I think I'm going to just try to set up the Sire of Insanity for the next turn. And that'll probably just win us the game. Okay, he's going to block. And what's your spell? Turn. Okay, so I'm going to let the turn resolve. And then hold priority. Gore Clan. And apparently Gore Clan Rampager, even though we kept one of them still in the deck, still pretty good. I'm going to cast the second Sylvan Caryatid since he stalled on mana for 1 turn. We don't need to fear the Mizzium Mortars overloaded yet. Oh, turn burn. So now he's going to resolve Divination, draw some cards, hopefully find some lands, because otherwise he's probably dead. Okay, so here we're just going to slam Sire of Insanity and watch the concession. I think a resolved Sire of Insanity is just going to win us the game here. And concession in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Oh. He types nice. So we get to see what's running around over there. Counterflux, Niv Mizzet, Lightning Strike, another Niv Mizzet, and another turn burn. But we have giant dudes in play. He drew the Spite of Mogus to get rid of our sire. Well, I suppose that works. Now we get to attack with Pelucranos. No point in monsterifying it. I'm just gonna hold the Stomping Ground. Make him think we have Burn Spell or Sorcery or anything like that. Okay, he drew a land. Pelucranos, I think, is gonna get there. He has to draw another Spite of Mogus, I think, as his spell. We're gonna cast a Temple of Malice here, and make sure we don't draw another land. Not like I think it matters much. Do I want a Courser? I think I'm just gonna take the Courser. Do you have an answer to Pelucranos, good sir? No, you do not. Well, that shows the power of Sire of Insanity. And your opponent getting mana screwed a little bit. He got flooded in game 1 and screwed a little bit in game 2, but this is the general function of the Monsters deck is, you know, play some mana dorks, play a big threat, watch as they struggle with a big threat. Okay, and yeah. Here we are with round 2, playing Jund Monsters. This hand is a little bit sketchy because of a variety of reasons. We have 2 Elvish Mystics and no Black Source for Abrupt Decay. I still think you keep this hand, though, because if you draw any threat, you basically get to resolve it. Unfortunately, we're playing against red, so we don't want to shock ourselves with our Stomping Ground. I'm going to play an Elvish Mystic on turn 1. Seems like he doesn't have the early drop. We're really looking for a Black Source or a Sylvan Caryatid or anything like that. Courser Crufix would be a good draw. Scavenging Ooze is also a fine draw against mono red. Seems like he's not doing anything right now, so that's pretty nice. There's the Sylvan Caryatid. We're definitely going to want to scry any lands away to the bottom. Oh, that's a good draw. And we're just going to play a Caryatid here. Immune to his burn spells, and not the end of the world. Okay, so he's doing nothing right now. Slowest mono red hand ever. There's the almost certainly Chandra's Phoenix. Burning Tree Emissary. Ooh. This is more like a red devotion deck. Prophetic Flame Speaker. I have the odd feeling that this Abrupt Decay is going to be pretty nice. We're going to cast the Courser first. Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Tend to like Scavenging Ooze. I'm going to take 2 damage to leave up Abrupt Decay here. And then just pass. If he attacks, I'm going to throw Courser in front of Prophetic Flame Speaker to try and make him use Gorklan Rampager if he gets green. Since these decks tend to like Gorklan Rampager, Rebel Belt Maka, you know, all these sort of shenanigans to really try and abuse Prophetic Flame Speaker. So you have like a second Flame Speaker. He has access to 4 red, could be Perforos, could be, I'm not sure what's really in this deck. Rebel Built Raiders. It's not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. Definitely blocking if he attacks. Like there's no shame in that. I think we could just kill the Flame Speaker anyway. Since we left with the mana, no point in wasting it. We are drawing a Domri. Not bad at all. This is going to be a 4/4, which is rather unfortunate. I'm going to play an Elvish Mystic. And all we need now is just a giant threat. His Rebel Belt Raiders are going to be pretty big. And since he's running Prophetic Flame Speaker, I am worried about any sort of combat trick, since that's essentially what this deck is about. So I'm probably gonna hold up. If Abrupt Decay hit Rebel Belt Raiders, I'd be more inclined to hold on to the decay the prior turn. He has a Mutavault. Just gonna hard cast another Raiders, is my guess. Since he didn't play anything really on turn 2. Activate Nykthos for 5 green. Interesting. Oath of the Ancient. Whenever it or another enchantment, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Oh, so this is the Miser doubling counters strategy. So this is going to be a 5/5 attacker. So if we block with Scavenging Ooze and Courser, he has to have a combat trick to blow us out. He's going to be tapped out and just cast Hammer of Perforos. Put another counter on it. He's going to put a counter on his Burning Tree Emissary. Sure. So let's see what happens here. He's going to attack with both. He's down to 1 card in hand and he's tapped out. We can set up a pretty nice position here where we can block Courser, Ooze, and an Elvish Mystic in front. That'll be 1, 2, 5, 6. His Rebelt Maka won't be that good, and he'll have a 3/3 here. The 3/3 will get a little bit bigger, but if we resolve anything big, he can trade his Raiders for either Scavenging Ooze and Mystic or Courser and Mystic. It's probably going to be Ooze and Mystic, so we're going to go with this. But I think this block is pretty nice. Yes, he's going to leave our Courser alive. He's putting Ooze then Courser. It's not going to work as you want, friend. You either eat Ooze or Courser, and you get a free Elvish Mystic. Yeah, there you go. So like he wants to eat Elvish Mystic, Ooze, Courser. Eat your guy. And we get left with a Courser Crucifix, which is just fine. We are looking for any sort of giant threat here. Definitely playing that Overgrown Tomb first. Would not like to pay 2 life. And, well, unfortunately our Domery's not going to hit anything. But we're going to still cast it. And we're still going to plus it. I wonder what I have on top of my library. So we have all the manas. All the manas in the world. No point in, we can attack for 2 here, but since all of his creatures have haste, I'm hesitant of him having just another giant creature or something. Maybe he just has another Burning Tree or something ridiculous like that. So protecting my Domery seems like the right approach right now. So, not the land I wanted. This is one of those hands where you get a ton of ramp and you're just waiting for something big. Once you draw something big, you're probably going to take over the game. And here, another Scavenging Ooze, even Gorklan Rampager. It's not the best, but it's a dude. Stormbreath Dragon helps put the clock on. He has... what does he have here? Seems like another Prophetic Flame Speaker. No, he just wants a golem. He sacrificed his Mutavault for it, which is rather interesting. Since now he doesn't have Nykthos mana up anymore. Surprisingly, he also didn't choose to put the counter on the golem. I think he's gonna attack Domery. Like that's a fact. I think I'm just gonna throw an Elvish Mystic under the bus. If he attacks me, I'm just gonna take the damage. But I really want this Domery to resolve, or to stick around. Courser can jump in front of the golem all day, every day, and I think our Elvish Mystic has done its job of sitting around, tapping for mana a couple times. And if we ever draw like a giant creature, Xenagos the Reveler. Another one I didn't exactly want to pick up. Xenagos seems alright against his deck. He is going to be attacking Domri, and Domri might die, but I think we're just going to plus it anyway. Put it at 5. And you are going to go right back. And we're going to play the Overgrown Tomb that he knows about just to gain a life. And we'll pass. Surprised he didn't attack with the Golem that turn. I mean, I guess, yeah, I'm going to chump it in front and everything, but... So, if he makes another Golem with Hammer, and then attacks with it, a Golem, and a Burning Tree Emissary, he'll have 2 4/4s and a 3/3 at Domri, so our Courser can go in front of the 3/3. Oh, seems like he has another Rebel Belt Raiders. That would be a good draw for him. He could... I mean, we could just sit here and speculate. Ash Zealot, sure. You have an Ash Zealot. He's going to put a counter on the Ash Zealot then. He's just going to put a counter on the Golem. So I think, I mean, the only way he kills Domri is to Alpha here. And at which point, Courser gets to eat an Ash Zealot for free, and we sit back and durdle with the rest. Oh, he's going to attack 2 dudes at me. So, I mean, Courser's going to eat Ash Zealot for free. Like, that much is guaranteed. The question is, do I want to keep my Domri alive at the cost of a Caryatid? And I think, once again, I think just throwing a Caryatid under the bus does not seem like a problem. He's going to start running out of lands for Hammer, and taking some damage is more than okay with me if we get to start getting value. So, Domri's going to draw us another card. Scavenging, it was just a fantastic draw. I get to play Elvish Mystic, play Xenagos. We're just going to poop out a 2/2 here. And play on my land, gain another life. I'm going to leave my Courser back because my Courser can block the Golem if I should so choose, but this Satyr's not going to do anything, so Satyr's going to get in there. And since we know we're drawing Scavenging Ooze next turn, it is pretty nice. We could have left it back to chump if he wants to make another Golem with Hammer. But eventually, if we draw Mizzium Mortars, this game is done. Getting Scavenging Ooze in play is nice since he has 2 creatures in the yard and we have 4. So our Ooze is going to be pretty nice. Is he just going to use Hammer here? Hammer, sack a land. I mean, if he doesn't kill Domri this coming turn, we get to play Ooze, eat a bunch of guys, eat one of his creatures, make another 2/2. So he has to start attacking the Planeswalkers, or rather continue attacking the Planeswalkers, but he actually has to finish them off. You draw Burning Tree Emissary specifically? Is that why he's not tapping the Nykthos here? I mean, the attack on us let us eat a free Ash Zealot, which is nice. And I really think Scavenging Ooze is going to get us to the point where we've stabilized. And then I think it'll be all gas from there, because he has like +1/+1 counters and a Hammer, which is like a cute interaction. It's like, oh, you get to make 4/4s at the cost of a land. But we have Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers generate their own subgame, which is, do you kill Planeswalkers? If no, get crushed by value. That happens with a lot of Planeswalkers. Not, always the case, since there are cards like Tybalt that exist. I think he's contemplating whether or not he sacks a land or not. Well, he has declared that there will be at most 3 attackers this round. He's going to attack Xenagos with Burning Tree, Domri with Mystic, and me with Golem. So, what you're saying is I get to keep my Xenagos if I throw... So I get to keep Xenagos or Domri at the cost of Elvish Mystic. I could put Courser in front of Golem to save some damage. I think I definitely want to put Elvish Mystic in front of Burning Tree Emissary. I think Courser... Because if we do that, we'll basically be training our Domri to fight. We could... Like, Xenagos isn't going to do that much. He's going to make 2/2s, and he's going to keep making creatures. And I think just because he had the Oath of the Ancient Wood, our 2/2s are going to get outscaled. I could put Courser in front of Golem. Like, I think that's fine. If he wants to use his turn killing a Courser Crewfix by pumping it with something. Actually, no, he can... I think I'm not even going to fall for the onboard trick of him sacking a land for it. I think I want to keep my Domri around, though. I think Domri is going to be fine. If he has Gorklan specifically, he eats Elvish Mystic, and then he sacrifices a Gorklan Rampager, which can do work later on. I don't want to fall for him just using Hammer, making a 3/3, and eating my Courser for free. Especially since now we're going to gain a ton of life, have a giant creature. We could even plus our Domri if we really wanted to. I think it depends what's on top of our library. Mutavault, eh? Not exactly worth plussing Domri for, I don't think. Like, we can have our Ooze eat his Burning Tree Emissary, and then his Nykthos is basically bad mana confluence, I suppose. If we plus Domri, any one of his creatures is bad enough to get it, but we still have our incremental value. Let's use this Xenagos, or this land off the top, and see what happens. Well, we have another Xenagos coming. That makes me half tempted to just leave this Domri in play. If he attacks with all 3 creatures, or possibly all 4 creatures at Domri, we lose our Domri. Whereas if we Domri fight, we lose our Domri anyway, but we take one of his creatures off the battlefield. And I think I'm just gonna start getting a big Ooze in play. We get blown out if he has some sort of burn spell. So I think I'm just going to do it this way. He can make 1 creature instant speed, but I think Scavenging Ooze eating Burning Tree makes his Nykthos very bad. Okay, fantastic. And now we have an Ooze that's going to start to take over this game, I think. Since it's going to be able to gain us life, become larger than any one of his creatures. And then we're going to have a Xenagos that's going to start making 2/2s as well. And I think we may have stabilized. Him sacking a couple lands early on just to get some pressure on means we may have stabilized a little bit earlier on. This is a pretty interesting deck, to say the least. But Scavenging Ooze is a good card. It's one of my favorite cards in Standard right now. Just because it screams an answer. Because if you don't have an answer, he just gets to dirtle around and make people sad. Now the question is, if he attacks with both, what do I do? He could tap 2 and Nykthos to make 1 green. So we're not actually afraid of Gorklan Rampager. We're specifically afraid about... Okay, so he is going for it. This is a decision. Like, do I just take 7 here and let my Scavenging Ooze blow him away next turn in combat? And I think that's just what I'm going to do. I think, you know, you get to get in for 7 this turn. You got me, I suppose. I'm going to let my Scavenging Ooze... I want to be able to untap with it. So he could make another Golem and make it for 8. But I don't think I'm terribly scared of anything. he has like what, Rubble Belt Maka, he can tap this for 2 red, so it's not even point using Nykthos. He could use Rubble Belt Maka, and that would be still not lethal. I think we're okay. I think taking this damage is the right approach, because he just loses to that card. And getting damage on it does make it weak to burn spells or Mizia Mortars or anything like that that he might have. And I think that's going to be good. So I think I'm going to eat a couple guys here. Probably his Burning Tree and my Elvish Mystic. And that is good. Oh, and we're drawing Storm Breath Dragon. That's a good sign. Definitely slamming Xenagos here. I think I want to leave up Mutavault. And I think now it's time to start getting the clock on. So Storm Breath attacks for 4, then 7 plus some damage. So I think I'm just going to attack with 1 Lonely Satyr. Leave the other one back in case he wants to haste something big out. But now I think we're in a pretty good position where my Scavenging Ooze can just eat golems. And then if he double attacks, we can throw a Satyr under the bus. But I think we're in very good shape. Yeah, so it seems like he has a trick of some sort. Going to eat some more dudes because you are hungry. Nom 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 nom. Okay. Drawing Gore Clan too. So I think we have lethal all but set up. We get to play Storm Breath, attack for 4. I'm gonna make a Satyr here. Yeah, we're gonna go Storm Breath, attack for 4, and then next turn we'll be able to Gore Clan plus Monstrous. And we leave our dudes back, and Storm Breath smashes your face. So I think him blowing up his lands prematurely was probably bad, just by a little bit. Mizia Mortars. So that was the combat trick. We don't have enough to deal with that, but that's okay. Do we have lethal next turn if we just attack with Satyr, Ooze, and Satyrs and have Gore Clan Rampager up? I think actually we do. So let me just make sure I do the math right. So our Ooze is going to be a 11, 11, 15, 15 Trampler. 16, 16 Trampler, because if we use Gore Clan in response. Prevent 7 of it. Yeah, so we're just going to Xenagos make a 2-2. And then animate Mutavault. And smash his face. Especially since he didn't tap Nykthos, I'm not afraid of shock or anything like that. Make sure everything is tapped. And smash. And that is super lethal. So this is an interesting build by him. I like Golgari Charm, and I like Putrefy. Now this Disciple seems okay, just gets outclassed. I like Doomblade. Doomblade seems solid. Same with Mizia Mortars, he seems to stop a lot early. What cards do I not like so much? I mean, Ooze did work that game. There's a lot of combat that's going to be going on. I don't want Nylea's Disciple since it gets outscaled. We could have Vraska around, I guess. Plukernos seems good. Xenagos seems okay. Domri seems okay. I always find myself having difficulty cutting Domri just because it does some simple things. I like Courser against 3/3s. I think I'm just going to get rid of these Gore Clan Rampagers for starters. And I want to have enough threats. So maybe I'm just going to actually leave out Mizia Mortars because these guys get kind of big. I like Abrupt Decay. And then what's one more cut? Do I just cut a Courser? I am recording, good sir. I think I'm going to take out a Courser here. Courser's only okay. Actually, I think I'm going to take out a Xenagos instead. Courser blocks a lot of his early creatures. And he has an army of 2/2s and 1/3 double strikers, and the like a 2/4 is pretty good. This hand, I mean, it has turn 3 Domri, which is fine. It has also the possibility for turn 3 Pelucranos, so not the end of the world. Seems like he doesn't start out that fast anyway. I think resolving a Pelucranos might be good enough to get there. And we have an Overgrown Tomb, so that's nice. We hit our last color of mana. Now I don't think we want any more lands, so that Blood Crypt is going to get shipped away to the bottom. We're going to play Forest and Caryatid coming up next. So let's see. Legion Loyalist. Sure. First Strike Trample cannot be blocked by creature tokens. So we're just going to resolve Caryatid here. And now we have our blocker, and it's not a token, so that's pretty nice. The question is, if he attacks anyway, do we block? Prophetic Flame Speaker. I think resolving a Pelucranos is the right way to go about this here. Rather than casting a Domri, having a giant 5/5 is good. If he attacks anyway with the Prophetic Flame Speaker, it screams that he has Combat Drake. This guy projects very, very hard when he has something and plays very passively if he doesn't. So if he has Gore Clan Rampager, we get kind of wrecked. He's gonna Mizium Mortars pre-combat? Like, what is going on here? His Nykthos doesn't tap for... Like, his Nykthos is a mountain right now, because Devotion is 3. If he goes Burning Tree into using Nykthos, that'd be pretty nice. But, otherwise our Domri is probably going to have Pelucranos eat a Prophetic. Barrage of Expendables. Sack a creature, deals 1 damage. So you have Barrage, you don't have... So I'm almost certainly snap blocking here, if he ever chooses to. Okay, so Domri can make Pelucranos fight his Flame Speaker. He can sack Flame Speaker to shoot Domri. We could play Domri and plus Domri. We can have Pelucranos fight the Legion Loyalist, have him sacrifice Legion Loyalist. And then we can't cast Domri. We're going to have at most 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana this turn, if we want to pay 2 life for it. Do I eat his Legion Loyalist? If we eat his Legion Loyalist, we get to block Pyrophetic Flame Speaker with Pelucranos, because it'll be a 5. It'll be a 5/7. This will be a 6/6. You know, it still won't be the best actually. I don't think having Domri fight Flame Speaker is the best, since it's literally 3 mana. He pays a red to kill Domri. We get his Pyrophetic Flame Speaker off the board though, which I think is a big enough advantage since we have a second Domri. I think I'm just gonna go with that actually. We're gonna cast the Temple as well, but I think I want his Pyrophetic Flame Speaker off the table, especially since we have another Domri. Oh, looks like he doesn't even want to do that. Okay, so we're gonna scry 1, put any lands to the bottom, and we can attack with Pelucranos, and I think I will. Having a giant 5/5 already starting to put the pressure on is pretty nice. Another reason why I wanted to get rid of the Flame Speaker is it makes his Nykthos much worse, and it seems like he is very, very dependent on it. to do his explosive starts, and if we try and keep this to as fair a game as possible, we're in good shape. Yeah, so now his Nykthos doesn't do too much. He's gonna Mizzium Mortars and sack his Legion Loyalist. That'd be good. That's real good. Oh yeah, that feels great. Especially since we have another Polukranos waiting in the wings. I'm gonna start by plussing this Domery and casting a second Polukranos. Getting our Black Source in play. So that was really nice. He self 2-for-1'd, getting rid of Mizzium Mortars and Legion Loyalist to kill our Polukranos, and we just cast another one. It's a good sign. So now it is Hammer time. But I think since we're going to draw Abrupt Decay, we can Abrupt Decay his Hammer. I'm just going to draw another Polukranos, sure. So I can play a land, have Polukranos plus 1, 2, 3. So we have Polukranos plus fighting for 3 damage. So I'm just going to attack with Polukranos here, leave up Abrupt Decay or Polukranos doing shenanigans, and I think we're in good shape. I could have Abrupt Decayed the Hammer right there, but the Hammer's not going to do that much. His only giant threat would be, I believe it's Rebel Belt Raiders. If he has Rebel Belt Raiders, we get to fight before he gets the chance to attack. And we're going to do it when we enter combat, so that way any mana he uses with Nykthos also doesn't get the chance to be used. Even though Nykthos is a mountain right now because his devotion's 3. Boros Reckoner. I reckon that's a good one. Makes me not want to Polukranos fight. Well, I guess I'm going to end of turn Abrupt Decay that. He can sack it, deal 1 damage, but feels pretty good. I thought if he was going to attack, he would attack, so. Well, I think we're in a very, very, very good position. 5 mana or 4 mana 5/5s seem pretty saucy. He chose to redirect to Domery too. We're gonna just that was an absurd draw. So now we get to attack for 5 again. Doesn't up our clock if we make it monstrous at all, so just gonna keep smashing this way and still gonna leave up Polukranos fighting for 3 damage. So I think we're pretty set for this game. He made a pretty rough trade for the first Polukranos and just wasn't able to stabilize after the second one. And we cast threats. You, sir, have a boon Seta. Polukranos is going to fight this. And 3 seems like a good number. Untap and kill him. There you go. That's round 2 for you. Good card. Good card. Scavenging use also did work. Okay, thank you guys all for watching. See you guys next round. Here we are with round 3. We've lost the die roll. Obligatory good luck, have fun. Always try and be a little bit positive on the interwebs. And we're gonna wait for our opponent to show up. Oh, here he is. Okay, fantastic. This hand is okay, I guess. We don't have the fastest start, but we have an Abrupt Decay for early disruption. Seems like we're against green-white. That could be some sort of Constellation deck. That's the one that's been running around a lot, is the junk deck. How did he scry to the bottom? So that's typically good for us. So right now what I'm looking for is either an early mana dork or some sort of threat. Oh, that's actually not a bad one. I'm gonna cast a temple here. See what we what we have on top of our library, a second Stormbreath Dragon. I find it really hard to say no to Stormbreath Dragon. I find it even harder to say no to Stormbreath Dragon when I see that they're playing white. And Stormbreath into Stormbreath just makes a lot of decks just completely fold. And if this is just green-white with like Voice of Resurgence or... Oh, look, I called the voice. I'm just gonna cast a Scavenging Ooze here. I could have played Mutavault there instead, but I think just resolving this Ooze is pretty good start. So since we have Decay plus Ooze eating a creature coming up. And we're just one land away from casting Stormbreath Dragons. And, well, you can't say no to Stormbreath. I absolutely love this card. It lets you go over the top in so many different matches. Very few instant speed ways to deal with it that are not in black specifically. But then they have to be holding their removal. Seems like this is just green-white. If he attacks with voice, we're just going to take it. We're not in any rush at all. Yeah, we'll take 2. Yeah, got me. I mean, the second Voice Resurgence would, I guess, be like marginally annoying. Just because it makes this Abrupt Decay a little bit worse. But I think we're okay with what's going on here. Our Stormbreaths win any race, and if he doesn't have a play at all, that's pretty good. Yeah, so here I think I'm just gonna play a Blood Crypt, no need to pay life, attack with my Scavenging Ooze, and then play an Elvish Mystic. And have turn 4 Stormbreath Dragons. And Stormbreath Dragon's probably we're gonna fly on the back to victory. He's done a lot of scrying. He's scryed to the top and to the bottom with those last 2. He's gonna attack for 2. We're gonna be like, sure, you got us again. Damn, that Voice Resurgence doing serious work. Okay, well, time to get serious. Attack for 6 here. And you probably don't have an answer to this. Yeah, there's the concession. Stormbreath Dragon, good card. Didn't even need the second one. So this looked like a typical green-white dirtily sort of thing. Makes me want Mizzium Mortars. I could opt for Abrupt Decay or Dreadbore. I think I'm just going to leave in the Abrupt Decay over the Dreadbore. Could be playing cards like I think I'd rather have Abrupt Decay up. This doesn't seem like a Sire deck, doesn't seem like a Nylea deck. I do like Doomblade against a lot of the green decks. Gorgon Rampager is not the best, and I'm gonna bring in 2 Putrefies for it, and Miser Vraska. I think that seems like a good thing. Well, this is a question. Do we play the 6-land Stormbreath Dragon hand? I don't think I want to mulligan. I feel a little bit sketchy, but we have 2 Scry lands. Oh, so he's playing blue as well. Interesting. Pelucranos is a good draw there. I'm gonna Temple Scry any land to the bottom and any spell to the top. I think just Pelucranos and the Stormbreath Dragon might be just good enough to win us the game. Since he doesn't have voice, how did he scry the second time? He scryed to the bottom, and he scryed to the bottom. Okay, so it's our turn to scry a little bit. Abrupt Decay I think I want on top. It might give us some interaction for next turn. He has scryed to the top. Okay, so he probably drew a spell. I'm just going to play a Mutavault and pass. We're leaving up Abrupt Decay. We have Plukernos the next turn because we have Basic Forest, and we have Stormbreath Dragon the following turn. Good card. So let's see. In blue, I can think of like really no real answers to Stormbreath Dragon, like legitimate answers. Maybe he has Rapid Hybridization. He is doing all the scrying. He has scryed on top. Does he not have a spell here? Sheepy, sheepy. Do I want to Abrupt Decay that? I don't even want to Abrupt Decay that. That doesn't do anything. Gains him some life, yeah, but I think I know what he's running. It's another list I ran into earlier while I was playtesting some other decks. This is like the Master Biomancer deck. So it's a fun little brew. I'm just gonna slam a Plukernos here. And if he has the Rapid Hybridization, he might be tempted to use it on the big Hydra. Man, giving up so much tempo, my friend. He's scryed to the top. Is this the no, he's just gonna Detention Sphere Plukernos. Okay, I'm just gonna cast Stormbreath Dragon here. No reason to Abrupt Decay or anything yet. But yeah, I think I want Stormbreath. Just resolve Stormbreath against the white decks. Force them to have an answer. So just this next turn we can have Xenagos and Abrupt Decay hit Detention Sphere. Okay. Do you have an answer? That is currently not an answer. So yeah, I think I'm gonna play Xenagos, make it 2/2, Abrupt Decay the Detention Sphere during his turn. This card's good. I remember when it was first spoiled, people were saying, "Oh, I want to play a Mutavault and leave up exact." So I want that, and red. People were saying, "Oh, it's not as good as Thundermaw Hellkite." Well, of course it's not as good as Thundermaw Hellkite. That doesn't mean the card's still not good. I could have plus to add 1 mana, but that's not even worth it. I'm just gonna have a Stormbreath. Stormbreath smash his face. No point attack with Satyr since he just puts the sheep in front of it. I could have feigned as though I had Gorkland Rampager, I suppose. Okay. Do you have an answer to Stormbreath Dragon? This is like the question I am asking you here. Do you run Supreme for Elspeth, Sun's Champion? Well, Elspeth -4 does kill Stormbreath Dragon. But I think I'm just gonna get back Plukernos now. And then Plukernos can fight his Fathom Mage and have another clock on him. Courser. Okay. So I think I'm going to make a 2/2. Have Stormbreath. Eat a Fathom Mage. And there's the concession. Plukernos, very good. Stormbreath Dragon does a lot of work. And even resolving an Elspeth as an answer is pretty rough for him. Again, we got a pretty nice... It was a pretty slow hand, but his deck was really slow. It didn't really do anything. And we just got value from our giant creatures. These are the hands you kind of want to see. I mean, if you hit a creature, it's either just a mana dork or it's incredibly relevant. Here we are in the finals. We won the die roll, so we get to play first, which is pretty nice. Hopefully we are able to pull up the turn 2 Domery. This hand is a little bit on the slow side, but I'm not going to mulligan it. We do have Caryatid, we have Ooze, we have Mizzium Mortars, so we have a little bit of interaction at least. And he has chosen to mulligan, which is typically a good sign. If I knew what I was playing against, it would of course be very different what I'd choose to play, but I think casting a Caryatid into Scavenging Ooze is pretty nice. And eventually against, I mean, with online especially, there's a lot of just good matchups where overloading a Mizzium Mortars might just win the game. Seems like we're against a more control-y deck though, so this is going to be interesting. The Esper control lists, you have to be a little bit careful with how you lay your threats out. You have to always be wary of the Supreme Verdict. Turn too late there, my friend. I'm just going to cast Caryatid here. And pass. So we got to keep our eyes open. If this is not Esper control, then it's some sort of, it could be mono black splashing blue. Whoop, that screams it's almost surely mono black splashing blue. If he plays pack rat on turn 2, we have to Mizzium Mortars it. Like you can't risk pack rat getting out of hand. Okay, seems like he might have Devour Flesh. And we have Elvish Mystics. I'm just going to make my Mutavault a dude and attack him for 2 here. If he has a removal spell for my Mutavault, I've seen worse. Devour Flesh, yeah. I think he's just gonna eat my Caryatid for that. We're gonna cast an Elvish Mystic, and we're fine. Putting an early clock on is not a bad thing against mono black, which is essentially what I think this is. We are just waiting for one threat, and we have all the lands we could really want. Again, we are short now 2 red sources for Mizzium Mortars, so you know that is a bit of a stretch, but I'm fairly certain. Okay, Underworld's Connections. So our goal here is to pressure him as much as possible. Try and keep him on the back foot. Looking for Abrupt Decay, that would be probably the best draw. Forest, not exactly the best draw. We're gonna animate my Mutavault. I could have played a Blood Crypt there, actually. I think I should have played a Blood Crypt. I'm just gonna cast a Scavenging Ooze here. If he wants to use a removal spell, it probably has to be Hero's Downfall. And that means you'd have to play a land and not be able to Connections. The fact that he Connections up the Temple instead of a basic Swamp is kind of interesting. I think it's just mono black, it's not even playing blue. If he plays like 4 mana Desecration Demon is gonna make this plan a little bit rough. We do want to be able to beat Desecration Demon. Pack Rat. I can beat Pack Rat. That's gonna get Mizzium Mortars. 2 Pack Rats. That's marginally more difficult. So we can Mizzium Mortars a Pack Rat, attack with Scavenging Ooze, and Mutavault, and Elvish Mystic. But then we're out of most things. I still think I have to Mizzium Mortars here. If we let him untap with a Pack Rat and active Underworld Connections, he's going to do it anyway, but keeping him... we know we only have 1 Mizzium Mortars. I think since we're not having the opportunity to overload it anytime soon, we're just going to have to kill a Pack Rat. Animate my Mutavault and turn my creature sideways. Should have had Scavenging Ooze eat something there, actually. Because I didn't cast the Elvish Mystic with the second green. So here he can make a rat and lose life. He can cast Grey Merchant. Grey Merchant would be pretty rough. And the fact he started out slow is not good. Desecration Demon's also pretty good. Him following the pack rat plan's pretty good. He's at 9. He should be at 8. So we'll see if that one life comes back to haunt us. I would not be surprised. Magic is one of those games where every little mistake gets snowballed and skip an activation and it could cost you the game. Seems like this is another Underworld Connections. That is A-okay with me. Unfortunately, it's a sign that Grey Merchant is coming. That's the only reason why he'd do that. So the problems are real. We're gonna exile this pack rat end of turn. The fact that he's attacking means he has no fear of Gorklan Rampager, since I think Gorklan would be lethal, which is why I'm hoping to draw Gorklan Rampager. Speak O the Devil. So let's make sure we have enough to make everything go right. Animate Mutavault, attack, and Gorklan. Well, we were able to get this game. He got punished for wanting to wait an extra turn for Garrying. Since he's tapped out, we don't have to worry about anything, so. Nom 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 nom. Got there. Whew. So, mono black. Not a bad one to have in the finals. Makes me really wish this was an ultimate price. I like Mizzium Mortars against them. Abrupt Decay, Dreadbore, both very, very solid. I also like Putrefies and Vrask and Golgari Charms. Basically what you want to be able to hit are the key things, which are Desecration Demon, Underworld Connections. That's basically it. I don't like Gorklan that much. They run way too much spot removal. They actually bring in even more, which makes it a little bit rough to have just legitimate threats. Vrask is okay. Vrask is another one worth considering. It's just a matter of how much removal you want to have for Desecration Demon, Underworld Connections, Pack Rat. Golgari Charm is a pretty nice one to have since it hits Pack Rat on turn 2 or hits Ultimate Price or Underworld Connections. Maybe I could take out Mizzium Mortars. I'm not sure if his list runs, since he's splashing blue. I'm assuming he's splashing for, or like he's playing Night Veil Spectre, because otherwise you'd be playing green for Abrupt Decay and Golgari Charm, or white for Blood Baron. Courser's relevant. Pelucranos and Stormbreath are both pretty solid. I like Scavenging Ooze. I think I'm going to go with this list. I'm not going to play the Putrefies or the Vraskas. And see if this list, if this one's okay. We are on the draw, so having the other piece of removal is fine. This is an alright hand. I'm not going to mulligan it since we have Mystics. We are short red sources, but we typically have a lot of them. And if we resolve a Stormbreath Dragon, we're in pretty good shape. And if we draw a red source, having Dreadbore set up is going to be alright. Seems like he doesn't have the turn 1 Thoughtseize, or he's just slow rolling me now. No turn 1 Thoughtseize, which is pretty good. Interesting, we drew another Overgrown Tomb. So we are really looking to draw a red source here. This was perhaps a sketchy keep. Like if he goes turn 2 Pack Rat, we have to draw a red source or we just die. Looks like he kept a 1-lander, and we drew a Caryatid. So I think I'm just going to pay 2 life here, resolve a Caryatid, resolve another Mystic, and just try and get out ahead as fast as possible. I think he kept Pack Rat. Like I'm almost sure he kept Pack Rat. That's keeping a 1-lander with no Thoughtseize is pretty, like, it's sketchier than what we did. So if he has Pack Rat here, we're just gonna Dreadbore it right away. Yeah, like we're not even gonna give him the chance to use it. I would not be surprised if he had a second Pack Rat, but That has to die. Now we're gonna scry, and we're gonna have a Stormbreath Dragon next turn. If this is a land, it goes to the bottom. Yep. And go Elvish Mystics. Get in there. If he draws another land, that's probably bad for us. If he has another pack rat, it's okay. I mean, we're gonna try and race with Stormbreath Dragon. Okay, so he has Underworld connected. We're just looking for another relevant threat. Mizzy Mortis was a good draw. I think I'm not going to take 2 damage here to deal him an additional 1. So I'm just going to cast Storm Breath, play my land tapped, and smash him for 5. We will have monstrous Storm Breath mana up next turn, which is going to be pretty nice. It's going to force him to answer the Storm Breath Dragon now, which means he's not casting a threat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. So we have enough to monstrous, which makes it a 7/7 and deal 4 damage to him if he doesn't kill it right now. Desecration Demon, sure. I am not going to sacrifice. Not yet, at least. Scavenging Ooze is a good one. Since he's tapped out, I'm going to attack with my Stormbreath Dragon. And then probably just monstrous it. If he blocks, we monstrous it. If he doesn't block, we monstrous it. It again forces him to have a removal spell. We could have monstrous it, and then he's just choosing not to. So this is basically saying, do you have an answer to my Stormbreath Dragon? Because you are at 3. And so it almost screams that he has an answer. Like he has to. Because otherwise we just sacrifice Elvish Mystic, tap his Desecration Demon, and smash, smash, smash. If he goes down to 2, it doesn't mean both of our Elvish Mystics now together are lethal. And there's the concession. So Stormbreath Dragon got there. Looks like we were pretty poorly set up the rest of the match, right? Caryatids and lands. So seems like it's a good thing that Dragon got there. Otherwise it'd be down to Scavenging Ooze. But I'm curious what kind of hand he kept. It looks like he kept 1 land, Pack Rat, Underworld Connection, Desecration Demon. But yeah, there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this run through with Jund Monsters. It was a lot of fun to play. You can see why it's clearly considered one of the top tier decks. And thank you guys all for watching. This is Lucas with MTG Headquarters.
I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, check out some of our most popular playlists from MTG vlogs, sick gameplay videos, new product breaks, and some insane vintage openings. I upload 3 to 4 new Magic the Gathering videos every week, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to crush that subscribe button to join one of the fastest growing Magic the Gathering channels on YouTube. Talk to you later.